The spring anime season has been jam-packed with isekais, new ideas, fresh concepts, and of course, more Demon Slayer. But through the fog that is this overwhelming anime season that will probably break some sort of records, there is one show that has single-handedly blown everyone's expectations out of the water and changed the current anime season and all subsequent seasons to come for the better. If you can't tell by my beautifully given description, I'm talking about the show Oshi no Ko, the high school drama created by the incredible mangaka Aka Akasaka, who created the arguably agreed upon best romance anime in Kaguya-sama. After crafting this masterpiece of a show which detailed two teenage masterminds going head to head romantically in a competition where the person who confesses first loses, he decided to switch up a little, opting to stay in the high school setting and age range, but preferring to remove the romance element and tell a story about grief, revenge, and belonging. After Kaguya-sama's incredible conclusion, I didn't believe that any future projects he would have made would live up to what he did of the show. So, I retired this series to the realm of my amazing anime in my mind, and began watching others, until I got a message from a friend. Hello?
Oshi no Ko is Oshi no Peak.
Okay. With all of this info in mind, I stepped forth into what, in my opinion, is the undeniable best first anime episode, and one of the best anime episodes I've ever watched. The first episode immediately captivated me. The colours, the animation, the plot, which I did not expect to interest me, had me now mulling over what would happen in next week's episode. The first episode follows Goro Amamiya, a gynecologist in the countryside and a big fan of the famous 16-year-old idol, Ai Hoshina. After Ai suddenly shows up at his practice, pregnant and needing to give birth, he is initially met with mixed thoughts, but eventually agrees to have Ai's child for her. Until on the day of his birth, he is stabbed by a mysterious stranger and thrown off a cliff, and in his dying final moments, he is reborn as Ai's son, Aquamarine. Almost immediately, this show goes into the pressure and the demands that idols have to meet and most of the time exceed, by doing something as simple as showing their viewer how Ai's talent manager is reacting to the revelation of a pregnancy, and desire to hide it from the public, as if it gets out, it could be a PR nightmare. All of this apparent scrutiny is further highlighted in the episode where it is revealed that Ai is incapable of loving anyone, and that she lies to people when she says she loves them because she doesn't know what love actually is. And this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the revelations from this show. Now, I won't go into what happens later on in the episode, because I believe that everyone who can watch a show should watch it without being spoiled. But what I can say though, is that this show seriously looks at the dangers and excessive workload placed on idols and idol culture in general, and deconstructs it to form a story that, to almost everyone, is brilliant in its execution. I, as an anime and manga fan, do not personally indulge in idol culture, but I know some people who do. And in watching this show, I felt myself gain a better understanding of why someone would want to become an idol, and how much it can change your life, not just for the better, but for the worse as well. This show doesn't just dive into idol culture like I've illustrated, it also dives into the entire entertainment industry as a whole, and shows how toxic and awful it can be. In the second episode, we see Aqua has been accepted to act in a low-budget TV show, and that in that show we see the majority of the actors cannot act. Instead, the producer opted for good looks over acting capabilities, as well as certain actors having to live with the consequences of being a child actor in the past, that eventually your work will dry up, and people will consider you past your prime, as well as the effect that that can have on your mental state as a whole. There is a side plot featuring Ruby, Aqua's sister, wanting to become an idol just like her mother. But due to Aqua's conflicting idea of what an idol is and what she could become due to the culture surrounding it as well as past experiences, he tries to talk her out of it, but she doesn't stop trying because it's what her mother would have wanted for her, to become an idol like her. Taking that knowledge and using it to try and propel herself forward in the industry, does she use her mother's fame for her own self-gain interest? No. Rather, she decides to forge her own path, taking many steps that her mother once did to become an idol. The situation becomes even sadder after you realise her backstory. Bedridden her entire life, she could only watch what would soon to be her future mother dance and sing and perform on the stage that she wanted to, having to sleep and eat in the same place and practically live out her limited days alone, with no one there besides her. Which is why I think that she jumped at the opportunity to live out her new life. Despite her challenges in the past, she still struggled to take advantage of her healthy body and use a second chance. It's only when she's inspired by her mother to take that first step that she wishes to follow in the rest of her footsteps. It's a truly magnificent tale created by the power of mother-to-daughter connection, as well as a story acting in stark contrast to a much older, darker brother, Aqua, whose story isn't filled with the willingness to carry on a legacy, or become who your mother believed you could be. Aqua even says so in episode 4. His story is about revenge and getting justice for Ai. He is cold and calculating, and has many traits that would be deemed villainous in many other shows, but here it seems like it's a perfect fit, with Aqua fitting into this dark and depressing world beautifully, almost representing it even, whereas his sister represents the lighter side of the world, the side that moves on and the side that grows, rather than staying shackled and allowing a singular thought or idea to control your judgment. All of these side plots in another anime would usually never work, as it would feel like the show focuses more on them rather than the main plot. But not in Oshi no Ko. Does the show have side plots? Yeah. But did it take away from the main plotline? Not in any way. Every single plotline and plot device all connected to the main plot of the show in some way, shape or form, which allows a show and entertainment business that is based on feel real and breathing, almost like it's changing every day and not being stagnant until the main character gets to it. And that allows the show to interest the viewer with many different small subplots, while keeping them very interested and yearning for the main plot to be told. I will say this, Aqua might just be the best new gen MC, especially this season. Almost every single scene it feels like he orchestrated, with conversations flowing in a way that he commands and wishes it to do so. It makes him seem so much more intriguing after you look at his reasoning for doing so. But these motivations he has, which make me so much more excited to tune into the next episode, as I know that he will not do anything if it does not complement his overarching plan, which, while I won't spoil it here, is a simple plan that so far has been executed fantastically. The characters in this show have genuinely, after just 3 episodes, left a massive impact on me, reminding me of when I watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners for the first time. The gorgeous animation, the fluorescent colour palette, everything in that show accentuated the characters and made them feel larger than life, and this show does that, but more, allowing me to fall in love with how the show portrays every single one of them, and does it amazingly. Like, in the beginning, the character of Kana was a selfish, whiny child who, if I got the opportunity to meet, I would genuinely have played football with their head. But the show dives deeper into her character and allows the viewer's opinion to change after a few years have passed, showing that she is in fact matured and grown as a person, that she is even remorseful for how she acted back then, and has changed for the better. Simple things like that give me real hope for the future of this show, and show me that if they can take the, in my opinion, worst character and make them someone I am excited to see each week, then they have almost no limits when it comes to the main characters, such as Aqua and Ruby, and can make actual masterful characters out of these people. Even after Kaguya-sama and Aka Akasaka's other subsequent works, his visual storytelling is what sticks out the most in this show, allowing me to, most of the time, get lost in the visuals and the stylization of the characters. He focuses on something as small as the eyes of a character, just like he did in Kaguya-sama, and allows the show to portray an entire story with just them alone, allowing the viewer to feel what Aqua, or nearly every other character in the show, is feeling via that alone, with fans knowing that Aqua is being himself, and not putting on a persona when his eyes are darker in colour compared to the lighter colour they're normally presented as. I genuinely believe that everyone working on this project has given this show their all, and their best work. No matter background or ideologies, it feels like everyone has come together to make one truly good anime, and in doing so, has single-handedly changed the landscape for this genre forever, and set a new standard that all animes to come will have to consider for the foreseeable future. Most anime adaptations in recent years have felt like they've fallen flat in many aspects, with some in animation quality, and with others just having an awful story, all with studio intervention intervening and making a subpar project due to business models. However, with Oshi no Ko, the team behind this show has shown the entire world and every other studio out there that they can do better, and that with every passing week, they will pressure each animator, writer and producer to do better, single-handedly setting a new gold standard. It really feels that the stars have aligned for this show, crafting what might just be the best anime adaptation for our time. Bravo, ladies and gentlemen. Bravo. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.